though, because I feel okay. So, I hope my mom don't watch your channel.
I hope not either. She'll kill me. No, she'd already killed me a long time ago.
Well, I'm gonna focus these guys right now.
So I feel like my mom plays favorites because she'll talk wonderfully about Tristan to anybody, but when it comes to me, I'm just an asshole bitch who she don't like to be around for too long.
Unless she needs something, she's like, Destiny.
My mom don't like that I tell her the truth.
She's a little bit of an honest ass, you know, one of those.
Well, I have to be with my mom, or otherwise she don't
That
hear
way
me.
with everybody.
Well, no, I have to. Like, I have to. It's my mom's the reason I'm like this. Around
mom's the reason
17,
I'm
I stopped
crazy,
being
too.
scared of her and started telling her what the hell I thought.
Not always a good thing, is it?
No, it's worked out pretty good.
Has it?
Yeah.
That's good. I'd tell my mom what the hell I thought, but she'd shoot me. Like, literally.
I don't know if you guys know or not, but my mom is bipolar. She has manic depression. She is schizophrenic.
Yeah, but if you
I
get
mean,
pushed
I know it's
across the
probably
line,
it's not great to be an asshole to those types of people, but my mom's on the asshole end of that side.
But I do have my
Yeah.
She only talks to me when she wants money.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use it.
If she didn't, she never talked to me.
Yeah, I
But
definitely
it
have
doesn't
cruises
bother
on
me
watch.
that much because I still have all of my money. She might not have any, but at least I got mine.
That's true. The thing with her mom is she misses her medication when
Yeah,
she
she intentionally doesn't take her medication because she says that it clouds her judgment, but in reality it's just covering up the asshole part of her, and she don't like it.
Red, is that lower? Is that lower?
Maybe she feels like it's clouding her judgment because she doesn't make the same judgment calls that she does when she doesn't take it.
Oh, she makes terrible decisions either way.
Oh, well.
If her medicine worked, she wouldn't be where she is. Okay, there's just a lot of stuff that I'm probably saying that you guys just don't understand. I feel like I'm being mean about it, but I'm not. This is like the nice part of it.
It does get a bit shocking,
Out of hand.
to be honest. So, I mean, I completely understand where Destiny's coming from for a minute, and I
She
understand
burned our house down.
with Destiny in it.
Boy.
Because my dad wanted a divorce, which was understandable though. Because my mom. Okay, so there's been a few times where, see, I hate talking about it because it's like, tell me one thing about yourself that is 100% true but sounds fake, and I feel like all of these stories sound fake.
They're not.
One time, she had just gotten out of jail, and she used to be like a raging alcoholic and like on pills and stuff, and she broke into our house one night, tried to push Tristan against a hot stove that was like cooking food. She ran at my dad with a knife, and she spit in my face, which is the most disgusting. I wasn't even mad. That's just gross. That's nasty. And you know how she used to spit to those really big loogies.
Oh, no, don't remind me. God.
She nasty.
No.
And then one time she got mad at my dad, and he was asleep because they had finished arguing like 4 hours previous. But she left and she came back and she got this. You know those specific plates that just get like 1,000 degrees in the microwave if it's in there for like 5 minutes or less.
Oh, you got red armor.
And so she piled the plate up with food, like as much food in the refrigerator as she could. She stuck that shit in there for like 25 minutes, got it super steaming and burnt, and threw it at my dad's face when he was asleep, and then proceeded to beat him up and tried to put him through. My dad's a trooper. He has never laid his hand on this woman before. I don't know how. But she tried to push him through the window. She's beat him up a few times.
And her dad's big. He's not like a little person.
He's not. He works out at the gym. He just.
He's like 6'4", isn't he?
Yeah. He's a big dude with that really big like man physique.
I hate to say this because I am not for spousal abuse whatsoever, but he could just like.
And my mom's short too. She's about Joni type.
Actually, she's about 5 inches taller than
No,
you.
no, she ain't. She's a
Everybody's
couple
taller
inches.
than
She's like maybe at least a couple inches taller than you. She is not tall at all.
All I know is I look up at everybody, so except for that one little lady at work.
and-
But that's not.
There's just been so many times. It's just absolutely insane. She used to stalk us too. That was weird.
But she loves her mother dearly.
I found a picture on my mom's phone one time after we had started talking again and tried to work through all of our quarrels. and it was a picture from outside my window while I was sleeping. I slept with my window open. Ain't that creepy?
We did all right with that.
The way you just said that was kind of creepy too.
And then there was this one time my mom chased me, my dad, my brother through a cornfield with her car, trying to run us all over. It was on my birthday. I think it was my 14th
That's what happens
birthday.
to me every single time, dude. I can't, like, if I crash, I cannot join that.
That was the first time I ever saw my dad cry. Because he was like, I'm just tired of this. And I was like, damn, what a crazy birthday. I have a lot more stories. My mom used to leave me and Tristan, my brother, at home, like, for a week at a time, like, with no lights, no power, no nothing, while she was, like, having a fun time partying, like, on drugs in Charlotte, which is about, like, an hour away.
Now, I found out about that when they were about 14 or 15, I think, and I called her dad on the, he's a truck driver, so he wasn't home.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you need to go home. So, this ain't normal and it ain't right. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, those kids are by themselves with no food and no power. He's like, I'm on my way home. So, yeah, I've known them since they were babies. Her brother and my son used to be best friends. Both of them had a lot in common, Tourette's and everything. So they were pretty close, you know, not so much as adults because they have very different personalities. But she finally landed her man. So, yeah, but I've known them most of their lives, so I just didn't know things were bad like that until, like, the house burning down situation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I did when I found out about that one incident. And then I called your dad. I thought things had gotten better because y'all moved and it seemed like a better situation. And then when the house burned down and he was like, dude, you don't know the half of it. You know what's really funny? I used to absolutely envy your mother and father's relationship.
Which was a lie.
So jealous of it because they seemed so in love, so amazing. It's all magic. And then to find out this stuff later, I'm like, I don't envy that anymore. And in fact, it stopped me from envying any relationship because you don't know what's going on in somebody else's house. You got no idea. Even if they tell you everything, they ain't telling you everything. So, yeah, I don't envy anybody anymore because I don't know what their life is really like.
And then there was this one time, so my mom used to be like an avid pot smoker. And she was in Charlotte for a few days, and she came back one night, and I was so mad because I was like 9 years old trying to like clean up the house for my mom because I knew what type of psychological problem she had and how she was when she was like on drugs and stuff. So I had cleaned up our entire house. This is the Gladstone house, the first house that burnt down. And
she didn't do that one.
Everybody thought she did after the second.
Well, after
one,
the second fire, we were like, well, I felt so bad for that first fire. I still do. Oh my God.
But I had cleaned up the entire house. I did the dishes. I wiped everything down. Like I feel like at home at 9 years old, I had to be an adult. So at home, I did things like I was already cleaning, like cooking for myself and my brother, doing laundry and all that stuff. Because my mom and my dad were kind of both in like messed up predicaments. And I mean, of course, like away from home, I would act like I was 9 because that's the only chance I got. But she came home one night and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and I was so excited to see her because I hadn't seen her in a couple days. And she just came in the house and did one of her bipolar rage episodes, and she tore that shit apart. I was so mad. I was furious. I've only ever hit my mom once. I was scared because I thought I almost killed her. It was during that time that she broke in the house, and she tried to push Tristan against a stove, and my dad, the only time he's ever like touched her physically, he was restraining her because she had already beat him up, and like he was restraining her. He had his hand on her chest, like pressing her down to the ground. He had his like leg on one of her legs, and he was trying to hold both of her arms up. I don't know what made me do it. I mean, I feel terrible about it now, and I still cry about it sometimes at night when I think about it. It's probably going to be one of these nights because I'm talking about it. But he had her restrained and her head was right beside the couch.
I keep thinking about that.
And I just saw how bad my dad was beat up, and I took the couch and I I kicked it really hard up against the side of her head, and she kind of like passed out for a second. I mean, but at the time I didn't feel bad for it, but it knocked her head like hard against the wall, and then the couch was on it, hit her. Yeah. The only thing that makes me cry is like I could have killed my mom at 15. And that makes me sad.
By the way, the incident she's talking about is long after her mom and dad were divorced.
Yeah, this is
the
during
house.
the time where she was stalking us and she broke in, she was on drugs and she was drinking. So that was about 6 years ago.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but and while I don't like the idea of asylums or mental institutions like that, some people need them and don't need to be around other people. I mean, they're dangerous and it's scary, but you know, her mom has her good moments too. I mean, sometimes she's just really, really good, and then sometimes. But I mean, I guess that's the nature of just being bipolar.
With my mom, there's no gray area. It's either black or white.
Yeah, she's either really, really, really awesome or holy hell run. And I don't ever see the Holy Hill Run episodes, personally. I hear about them later, you know?
There's only been a couple of our friends to ever see it. Luke, Tristan's friend, and then Lauren Phillips.
Wow, really? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know why, but I never witnessed any of these episodes. I heard her say some things that were like, you know, but never saw anything. We did get into a small argument one time, and we didn't talk for a few months. Me and your mom. She
I remember
pissed
that.
me off.
I remember that. Because I didn't see Corey either.
Yeah, sorry about that, but...
I didn't know that that's why we weren't...
You just jerked her away. She just jerked away.
I didn't know that that's why me and Corey weren't hanging out, though. I thought it was something that, like, maybe me or Tristan did.
No, huh? Did you ever notice I wouldn't let them come to your house very much unless your dad was home?
Yeah.
It's
okay.
I didn't know all this stuff about her mom, but I had, like, this feeling that it wasn't quite right, and I trusted her dad. So when he was home, I would let them stay. But otherwise, like, nah, maybe not. So, you know.
And my mom talks about taking Athena off by herself.
No, hell no. Grandma will freaking stroke.
She talks about getting her own place and then letting Athena come over, and there's just no way I'm going to let that happen. She's not taking Athena anywhere.
Well, not to mention the whole boyfriend situation. I don't like that either.
He used to touch me inappropriately, and she didn't even care. I told her about it. She didn't believe me. And you want to know what she told me? Change your clothes.
You know, this is also recent, because this, the boyfriend's how old?
I was 16.
How old is he?
He was 24 at the time.
Yeah, so he...
I was 17.
He was much closer to Destiny's age than her mom.
Yeah, he could be my brother.
Literally. They're, what, a couple years from Tristan's age?
Yeah. I think he's 26 and Tristan's 23.
Yeah.
I'm going to
I don't know how. I mean, I teach their own. Teach their own. But these young boys at work will flirt with me. And I'm like, aw. No. No, sweetheart. No, I've got a son literally right over there. It's your age. Mm-mm. But it's adorable. Sure, you can lift the garage door for me.
Yeah. My mom found this dude at work one night, and they had known each other for like 2 hours, and they ended up doing the frickle frackle, and then that's kind of how she got stuck with him.
So she freckled with him.
At Waffle House.
Kept him.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much. He moved in the very next day. And he's been with her ever since.
I'd say they're moving a bit fast, but hey.
He tried to set me up with his 60-year-old uncle.
I
I was 16.
Huh.
He started the inappropriate touching around 17. Into 16, 17.
We had a teammate there.
Wow. Didn't know any of that.
Yeah. His name was Jeff. My name's Jeff. His name was Jeff, yeah.
No.
I have a crazy story about his uncle, too. But, man, my mom's boyfriend, his name is Dom. He pissed me off one night. Because Jeff was spending the night, and he had fallen asleep on the couch. Now, Jeff was an alcoholic. He was never sober. And I was watching TV in the living room one night, and he had fallen asleep in the like guest bedroom. But he came in the living room, whipped out his wiener, and pissed all over our living room floor, like right in front of me. And I went and woke Mama. I went and woke my Nana up, and I was like, Nana, what do I do about this? And she went to go wake Dom up because it's his uncle, you know. And he was like, it's not my job to clean it up. And he was like, you clean it up. I was like...
They need to make it like Octane.
And so I woke my mom up. She was pissed.
Yeah, that's what Octane used to be.
That was one of those moments where I was like, go mom.
I will say a crazy mom does come in handy.
She made Dom clean it up, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and she made him take Jeff home. And Jeff was homeless, so I saw his dumpster that he lived in Winston.
Oh, wow.
And she made Dom take him home, and I didn't see him for like a couple days. She's so sleepy. She's been waking up earlier and earlier in the day. Makes her tired at around 8:30. But I don't.
For a kiss she brought me.
Oh, she's Cersei.
I'm gonna get wet if I give you drink, dude.
Have a lot of crazy stories. Excuse me.
Oh, yep. Oh, geez, gonna get me wet. Yeah,
Hi,
there you go.
Pumpkin.
You're ready, Mama, now that you've soaked me. Now I have a question.
Yes.
That would be.
Should I post this?
I don't care.
You sure? Yeah. What I might do, because this portion is going to be really long, I might post it as a standalone video as a Destiny story.
Oh.
And I'll take your like keto part and just leave it on the video, and then.
This is kind of why I'm so open about stuff with like very strong opinions, I guess. 'Cause I had to grow up fairly early.
I don't know if
And your mother is also extremely, in a way, vulgarly opinionated.
Oh yeah. My parents they never censored themselves around me or Tristan because they wanted us to.
They took
I don't know why. But I know they wanted us to be able to have our own opinions and be able to talk about things like it and act like we knew what we were talking about. Never censored themselves around us. Started cussing from a super young age. I mean, my dad, he was like, I don't know, what's a libertarian? Because he used to always say, we're libertarians. What happens in these 4 walls stays in these 4 walls. You can cuss in this house, but the second you step out, I better not hear one thing come out of your mouth.
The term that your dad's using it as is free. Free thinkers, free speakers,
Oh, that is how he wanted us to grow up. He didn't, and so we knew about a lot of stuff from a very young age. I mean, I guess that's why sometimes I look at Zach like, because by his age, I pretty much thought like how I do now. It was very weird. Do you want a snack?
With Little Miss personality right there, I can't wait to see what we get with that one.
And I don't want to, I want to raise Athena the same way, because, I grew up at 7 years old knowing about bad drugs and stuff, and knowing all that stuff from, like, a very young age. So I don't mess with anything. And plus, I've seen my dad, my mom, and Tristan. Huh?
They always knew what bad drugs were, but there were certain things that were censored in ways. I don't agree with the censorship that a lot of children did go through, especially back in the day. I mean, at one time, adults didn't talk about periods in front of young girls, and a lot of young girls would start their periods and think something was wrong with them, and they would hide it.
I remember being the person people did ask me about periods in like elementary school because I already knew, you know. You want a snack? So a cinnamon roll. You love your little cinnamon rolls, you chunky little baby thing. She's my chunky little baby thing. What? Is it because I handed you the cinnamon roll?
And it smells really good.
I know,
And
don't
it's all
it?
over my hand now, and every time I mess up, it's
not
because
on our
there's been
hand.
something on my hand. Okay, going back to mommy.
What are you doing? Come here,
I
Paul.
don't have armor on.
Did she fart?
No, I think it was the chairs rubbing together.
Hey. Hi, pretty.
Is there anything else you want to talk about on this?
No.
I think Destiny's been getting a lot off her chest.
It's not even happening.
Just tell us what you really think.
Oh,
But yeah, There's a lot to everybody's past and future, and everybody's got there's skeletons in everybody's closet of some sort or another. So some of it's just flooring, though. The different stories between different people, especially children that grew up in the same area.
One of the moments that ruined me, I felt like that. I wasn't. I don't know how to explain how I felt. My mom tried to kill herself in front of me one night. Me and my dad, Tristan, I think he was at Caitlin's house, and this was the night that I lost my shit, and I did not care anymore about how I talked to her. I mean, don't get me wrong. Whenever she's taking her medicine, she's perfectly fine. I handle it accordingly. But whenever she's angry, that's whenever that just switches, and I don't care. She walked into our house at like 11 o'clock at night. Just came through the door. Me and my dad were sitting there watching TV. We were like, she walked to the bathroom, and she shut the door, and she locked it. And we had a pair of scissors in there and shaving razors. And I'm not going to lie to you, around that time, I was very familiar with the sound it made to take a pair of scissors and get a razor blade out of a razor. And I heard that, and I was like, Dad, she's in there, she's getting a razor out of the razor blade. I was like, you need to go in there and stop her. And he was like, that's not what she's doing. He was like, that's not it. And I was like, and that is exactly what she was doing, because she opened the door, and she was a little pale, and she was holding her wrist, and there was just like blood like pouring off of her arm. Like, she cut herself really deep about 6 times, like right here on the wrist. Like, the scars she has right there are absolutely insane. And I told Dad, I was like, I told you, look, there's blood everywhere, all over the bathroom. It looked like a crime scene, and there was just a trail leading from the bathroom to the front door, all through the grass in our yard. And she gets sat down in her car because she was gonna leave. And she started arguing with my dad, and he came outside, and he was holding her arm like really tight, like trying to stop the bleeding and stuff. And he was like, you need to go over to the side of the passenger seat. That's where she threw the blade. I looked for it. I found it. After I found it, I just went off. That's the night that I stopped caring, and I screamed and I yelled, and I told her what I thought. It was insane.
Is that before or after she flipped the Ford thing?
That was before.
You should get that off.
She made several attempts, and I know there was one night she was running from the cops and flipped her vehicle.
Right.
Yeah, she was running from a law point. She was on the highway, and she went through this streak where she intentionally tried to wreck her car. Didn't care where she was. She was considered a danger to society for a little bit. And she would just start driving really fast on open roads around everybody in town and just whip her wheel and try to flip it. Stupid ass.
She did flip though that one night.
One time, yeah. She managed to get it one time.
I'm
And then she
chicken.
was in a psych ward for like a month, but it didn't last long. I don't know why.
It's hard to believe that they just allow that. I mean, that is a danger to other people.
Mm-hmm.
You could kill all kinds of people doing that.
All the cops in Davie County know me and Tristan and Dad by our first names, and every time we go and see somebody, like, hey,
I do it.
how's your mom? And I'm like, oh, you remember.
I think that's fine.
Yep, never forget certain things. So,
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should end this part, because I heard Zach holler he was done.
Okay. It has been 30 minutes.
Oh my damn.
And that's not even a large portion of the stories.
Well, if you guys are interested in hearing more, comment below, let us know. Do you have any stories like this? Did you have these experiences? Do you have these issues? I am curious to know. I know that Destiny's not alone in the things she's experienced, so comment below. Much love, many prayers.
Bye!